Howdy, y'all. Welcome back to part 8 of the Ironman playthrough in Ready or Not. Today we're taking on Rust Belt. Fairly simple mission, just make sure you got the mirror gun. I'd say the most difficult thing about this mission is your guys getting stuck in the doorways and whatnot. Starting the mission off, we want to peek around this white van and see if there's anybody standing down in this path. If there is somebody, I like to take the other route and go around the barn. But if the path is clear, have your boys walk right into the barn. From there, we want to exit the barn through the little shack part. This is going to have you facing the house. Just have your guys moving clear. It's too open for a flash or a grenade, and there's a maximum of 3 to 4 guys, so you'll be able to handle them with a regular clear. Entering the house, I like to take the right side. This tends to be where most of the enemies are, but the downside is it's really glitchy because of those stairs that lead to the door. If you're lucky, use your guys to clear the room for you. Don't forget the passports in the kitchen. If you have your guys push and clear into the tunnel, they will continue until they run into a door. They were moving on their own for me for a really long time. I highly suggest doing this and just going with the flow. Make sure you stay behind them and watch your back. Cherish this moment because as you go through the level, getting your team to walk through doors is like pulling teeth from an elephant's mouth. Found a little bit of a trick that could help out with that, so stay tuned. If you let your team move on their own, they will end up at this cylinder hallway that leads back to the second room right in front of where you started. So that first room you walked in, the double doors in front of you, it goes into that room. I don't have any particular route for this level. The map is kind of confusing, but one piece of advice I would give you is to try to keep your fights close quarters. There's a couple sections of the map that are long hallways, so do your best to minimize the distance between you and the enemy in these places. What I mean by that is to use your mirror gun to check under doors and see what you're walking into. If you know you're going into a long hallway, turn around and navigate to see if you can find a separate route, preferably one that enters from the side. This is good just because it's better to take enemies by surprise, and the farther away they are, the harder it is going to be to hit them. You want to take as little damage as possible prior to getting to the very last room, which is probably the hardest part. So you might be able to notice here I'm walking into rooms on my own, which in Ironman mode is certainly not something you want to do. However, the reason I found myself in this situation is because my team could not go through doors. A trick that I found is partially reliable is to switch to one color of the team, so your red or your blue team. I found that the one who doesn't have a riot shield works better. The guys you send in will be shorter in numbers, but since the map is so close quarters, it doesn't really matter. But if you're smart, you'll follow close behind them. Just be ready to slang that rifle if you have to. This last section of the level was incredibly frustrating because I couldn't get my team to move through the door. And I tried my trick, both teams, none of them worked. I could hear a guy in the room. I've already done a rant about this before, so I'll let Ready or Not live, but the AI in this team is atrocious. Anyway, I throw my flashbang through the door, run through on my own, and arrest the guy. These developers are lucky it didn't ruin my run. For the very last room, if you can, have your team breach the door. However, no matter what breaching method you choose, have your own flashbang ready to go through the door. I threw mine a little short. You want to chuck it way back there to get the guys in the back, because the breach will get anybody in front. But wait, there's more. I cut a large chunk of it out, but from this point on, my guys couldn't move through any doors. They need to release an update to fix this. I was able to use my trick again and get the guys to go through, but it's just super frustrating. Long story short, we had to hunt the last guy down. I sent my guys to move through and one of my dudes spots him. As soon as the enemy heard the blick, they got on their knees and it was game over. And that's Rust Belt, ladies and gentlemen. If you're enjoying this playthrough, leave a like, leave a comment, let me know what you think. From here on out, we're going to see the most difficult parts of the game, but we're locked in. We're going to finish this up. See you in the next one. Peace.